As South Africans, one of our favorite pastimes is having a braai, or a barbecue as some of you may know it, because who doesn't love having a braai, right? We're going to be making the ultimate braai station today, and what you'll need for this project is a couple of pieces of timber, a painter's tray, stain, a few hinges and a door lock, some screws, caster wheels and a cordless drill. Our first step is to determine the size of our rectangular box. Now I've got our 4 shelves over here and I'm using a 2-meter high piece of wood. Place each shelf where they'll reside on your storage box. Use the thickness of each shelf to mark out the lines on each side, and then take your cleat and place your cleat either below for the middle shelves or on top for the bottom shelf, and also mark out a guideline. Then mark off your pilot holes where they'll reside, and remember you'll be screwing your pilot holes for the cleat on the inside into your storage box, and then for the shelf from the outside in. Each of the shelves will sit on top of each of the cleats, and use each of the cleats to mark out a guideline on each side, and then remember to mark out your pilot holes so that they miss the other screws that will be securing the cleat to the storage box. This not only provides support for our shelf, but to the overall storage box as well. An easy way to mark out all the pilot holes on your cleats is to line them up and then use a set square to mark each of the pilot holes out. Now that all our pilot holes are in place, it's time to secure our cleats. So we're simply going to add a bead of glue, and then we're going to secure with a couple of screws, and thereafter we're going to secure our shelves in place. Now if you don't have a second pair of hands, which we always don't, you can always use a corner clamp. Remember to always use a wood glue that's appropriate for your application. I'm using an interior and exterior glue which will allow for a permanent bond. With our shelf now complete, we can now attach our table. As you can see, it will be a folding table. In the corner here, we'll attach one of the hinges as well as in the other corner in order for it to flip over. This little piece over here will just be in order to make it flush so that our locking mechanism can attach on the same line. Once we're done with that, we'll place 2 small pieces on this side as well as this side. That'll ensure that when our leg opens, it'll stop on our stopping plate. To start, I'm going to work on my tabletop, but I'm going to turn it upside down so that I can secure the pieces that will stop the legs. So these 2 cleats I'm going to secure in the corner. I'm just going to mark out where they should go, like that. And then I'm going to drill pilot holes from the bottom up into our tabletop. Right, so with everything now in place, before we apply the hardware, let's give it a quick sand before we spray. When it comes to the legs, as you can see, I've placed them out here horizontally, and then I've got two supporting slats like this. Now, some things to take into account is where your lock will be, so that once it's up, it can secure safely. And then also you need to allocate 2 screws in each side of each of the slats to secure it safely. Now that we've marked out our pilot holes, we can drill our holes and then secure with glue and screws. With the dark mahogany stain on now, the color looks amazing and we can start applying the hardware. I'm going to start off with the wheels. I've got 2 different types, one that's a lockable one and one that's more free moving. All you need to do is place it into the position that you want and secure it with a couple of screws. Now we can move into securing the hinges to our tabletop. Once we secure it to the tabletop, we'll actually secure it to our structure. And then after that, we'll be able to lift up the tabletop and secure our locking mechanism to keep it in place. Now that our table is secure, we can just secure our legs into place. And then we can find a spot, invite our friends over, and enjoy that braai.